Okay, by my clock, it's 11:30, so we'll go ahead and we'll get started. My name is Brandon Locklear. I'm a senior forecaster here at the National Weather Service. This is your Thursday 11:30 a.m. briefing. As you are well aware, this briefing is basically to give you a heads up of any impactful weather that we're expecting over the next week. So overall, we're looking at a rather quiet period, but we will have a few little pretty neat events to look at. So once again, we just have a very beautiful day in store for us today. We're looking at highs of 65 to 70. A cold front will be coming into the area, approaching us tomorrow during the day, but actually moving through Friday evening, Friday night. Very little rain is expected along this front, as there's very limited moisture. But what the front will bring us is actually some very windy conditions out ahead of that front. What you see there is our 72-hour max wind gust. So ahead of that front, we're expecting winds to pick up late tomorrow morning. And during the afternoon and into the early evening, you can expect to see some frequent wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour. So obviously, if you have any outdoor objects that are relatively light or they're not fastened down, you could see those actually being blown over. So very windy conditions. The rain, again, we're looking at very light rain. That will largely come into the area after sunset, and I'd be surprised if we see more in the few hundreds. So very limited rainfall as the front goes through. Behind that front, it's a strong cold front. It's going to bring some unseasonably cool air into the area over the weekend. In fact, temperatures on Saturday are going to struggle to get out of the 50s for highs. Now, for reference, your normal highs this time of year are basically in the mid 70s to low 80s. So you're talking about temperatures that are about 20 to 25 degrees below normal. Now, the thing we're going to closely watch is our temperatures. Saturday, first of all, Saturday morning will be chilly with temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. But our coldest morning or coldest night looks like it's going to be Saturday night, Sunday morning. And it's possible that we could see areas of frost and freeze. Regardless, we're looking at a very cold air mass or very cold temperatures for Sunday morning with lows in the low to mid 30s. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some upper 20s in our typically colder spots. So if you look and you see that little table down in the lower left, you can see here's actually our latest dates that we've ever saw like freezing temperatures, so basically 32 degrees or colder, and we're right on par for that. So it's possible, we could actually set the latest freezing temperature in the spring. So that's something we will watch out for. If you have any outdoor plants that you're at all concerned about that's very sensitive to the cold temperatures, you will certainly want to bring those in on Saturday evening. That cold air mass is going to gradually moderate, and then by next week we should start to warm back into the low to mid 70s, but again, that's still going to be below normal for this time of year. So the trend of what we've seen this spring will continue, where it's actually been very pleasant temperatures. Real quick, you can see here our 7-day total. You can see there's a hole in precipitation across the central North Carolina. So for places that are still kind of wet and soggy, we can expect to dry out over the next several days. Here's a look at the thunder chances or severe weather chances over the next several days. And again, you can see there's no thunder forecast for central North Carolina. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, as you can tell in the left-hand screen, we're forecasting above normal temperatures. So, after we get past this cool spell, by early next week, we could actually start seeing the warm weather we come to expect living here in central North Carolina. So this may be our last little taste of kind of winter, early spring. And looking at precip chances, Not a strong signal there, but potentially better rain chances as we get into that second week forecast. And I'd like to remind you that this week is the Hurricane Preparedness Week, and you're probably familiar with all the statements we're sending out every day. For today, the topic is strengthening your home and tornadoes. As we know that when you can have you have tropical systems that make landfall anywhere within the southeastern United States, we can see tornadoes, especially on the right-hand side of the storm. So that's also a hazard when you have tropical systems. For tomorrow, they're going to be talking about helping your neighbor and rip currents. Again, rip currents is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. And then on Saturday is to complete a written plan. You know, this is a perfect time, given the social distancing and a little bit of extra time that we have on our hands, is to sit down, write a plan, put together that go kit. So real quick to summarize, we'll have a strong cold front that comes through Friday evening. Very little rain, but it will be windy out ahead of that. And then unseasonably cool temperatures. So you're going to want to dig out those coats, those sweatshirts if you plan on being outdoors Friday evening, Saturday morning, and again Saturday night and Sunday morning, with temperatures getting down into the low to mid 30s and some frost and freeze likely. And then we'll start to moderate to temperatures next week back into the 70s. All right, that's about it. Now we'll take this time for some questions.